How's it going, everybody? Jody in here, and we're back with another episode of No Man's Sky. We will be getting back to Pal World eventually, but we seem to be in the crux here of a No Man's Sky kind of drag out. I thought we were going to be finishing the series by traveling to another system, and we seem to be getting dragged into more and more and more things. Um, so last episode, we did pick up a pirate ship. And oh, I kind of see some of the colors that we selected on the pirate ship now. I think the front cannon's back, and it looks like it looks like it's colored. Let's go. There's a panel on the floor. Let's go to our appearance customization and see. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, our ship certainly has color to it now. Okay, that's the accent color. Wow. Oh, no, I don't want to. Crying out loud, I didn't want to leave. Customize appearance. Okay. Yeah. So primary and accent colors change those. I kind of see. Is it? Okay, that changes something kind of underneath it. Because this hold A to change camera view, but that's not. It's not actually helping at all. Holding A, and it's not helping at all. It basically it brings it to there. That's all it seems to do. It doesn't seem to like let me rotate the camera around it or anything. Arrow keys don't do anything when you do that. And rotating the camera just does this back and forth. We can go that far, and we can go this far. That's it. So it looks like, and then it switches back. It looks like fuck off. It looks like markings might be underneath. And secondary, I don't know where secondary color is. Can't see anything changing with secondary color. I'm not exactly sure what secondary color is. It looks like markings are underneath. Down in this area, down underneath here. And secondary color, I don't know. I don't see anything really changing with that. Will it hold the view angle if I... No, it still changes back. It does it by itself. Stupid. Oh, we got... Oh, okay, so there's that blue. Okay, so the engines, we can color the engines now. I really like the purple. I like the green, but the purple's nice too. Okay, so I can see one of the blues down here. Okay, let's go to I think that's the markings one. Let's get rid of that. Let's go back to the engine view and see. Okay, so there's another blue there. Okay, so that's the other blue. I'm assuming. If I change that white, go back to engines. Ah, yes. Okay, so there's two blues on the bottom. There's two colors on the side. There's two colors on the bottom. So the secondary color and the accent color are the two blues on the bottom. So if I want it to match, with the blue kind of whatever, I have to do that, and you can see that it kind of matches. Okay. But I kind of don't want the sides to be like that. I want them to be... Okay, now we have the little bit of a blue lines on the belly. Okay. If I do this one... Wait, no, that's the side one. This one's the other side, or the other bottom one. So we'll swap those and see what it looks like we can swap. Okay, so those lines are more solid. I like the solid lines. Okay, so we'll leave it like that. Leave it like that. Okay. Although there's different paint settings here too. So let's see what 2 does. So that's 2. Okay, that's kind of cool. 3. 3. I don't like 3. 3 is checkered. 4. Ooh, 4 is a nice solid line. But 2 was I think 2 was a nicer line. That's a nicer line. I like the 2 lines instead of the 1. Okay. So with that said, now what does 2 look like if we do this? Ah, it looks splotchy. I don't like the splotchiness. And I think 4 was the other line? What does it look like? Dude, that's even more splotchy. Yeah, not a fan. Okay. So we're going to leave it white. We're going to go with 2, because 2 gives us this nice pattern underneath, this nice arrow. A line pattern underneath. It looks like it does something up front, but I can't tell from here. This camera doesn't. The camera is absolutely useless. They need to fix the camera, because the camera is absolutely useless on this thing. To view the ship. But I think that's the color I want for now. So we're going to save it. I have to like fly around the ship to get a friggin' look at it. Okay, so we're doing They Who Returned, which I did confirm is the Autophage quest line. I don't exactly know how we triggered it. I don't know whether it was visiting a camp or if it was just being in the dissident system for a while or what. Because we warped from one we went to the camp and then we got our ship. I mean, it could have been getting our ship, our Sentinel ship, and then we went from one dissident system to another dissident system, and then we came back and we did a jump, and after that jump we ended up at yeah, we have our cannons back. After that jump we ended up at we ended up pulse flying to this planet after the jump. Let's see how the okay, so there's a couple of blue lines underneath here. Okay. We come to the back and we got those blue lines up there. I like that. I like how the color of the is like a bluish purple to these lower fins now. It's not all red. I mean, there's still a lot of red, but we have the bluish purple added in now. I like that. I didn't like how much red there was. So I wish there was a way to change the interior color. That would be nice. I'd like to bring the interior color back to a nice, you know, nice shade of something other than red. I realize it's a pirate ship, but it's looking a little too much like a pirate ship. And we have our cannons up here. They have come back. We have our triple cannons on the top here. And we have our dual cannons at the back here. They've all respawned now that we've reloaded, so that's nice. I mean, I guess the pirate ship doesn't look that bad. It looks alright. I'd like to be able to call it into a fight, but usually when you're in a fight, your freighter doesn't have a chance to get involved. It would be nice if it did, though. It'd be nice if you could actually pull your freighter into a fight. Have it help kick some ass. Anyway, we have to go visit the anomaly. So let's do that. Planetary interference? Are you fucking kidding me? Planetary interference. We're far enough. We got to be far enough away from the planet. My freighter can spawn here. Like, come on. Oh my god. Ridiculous. Come on, we gotta be out of range now. Planetary interference. There, get here. Good lord. Good lord. Okay, so we gotta go visit Nada, apparently, to talk about these autophage. Oh good, it's gonna give me a half-decent spot to get out. I like when it parks me on the side here, because then I have a very short walk to the teleporter. Alright, let us talk to Nada. Hello, Nada. Yes, I am very full of news. Hmm. Nada wonders. Hmm. No, Nada will not wonder. Nada will understand. Our data is insufficient to know if this pattern is familiar. Okay. So you don't know if you've seen this before? Is that what we're doing here? Is that what we're contemplating? You don't know if you've seen this before? Okay. Yet also, Nada thinks of older stories before Nada's divergence. Nada cannot help it. They're just thoughts. Okay. You should try to understand builder entities. Nada does not know the optimal method, but Polo Friend is a builder too. It's time to ask them. Okay, so we get to go talk to Polo anyway. Polo! You're the only Gek that I actually like. Did you bring the universe with you? New stories, new discoveries? Yes, we have found out about Autophage. We bounce on their toes, hanging on my every word. Friend, this is so exciting. The universe gives and gives. So many secrets, so much data. How do we learn more? Enthusiasm is palatable and contagious. Deconstruction, reconstruction. No, we're not taking them apart! I know what we can try. Oh yes, friend, a new project. Describe these autophages exactly transmit the blueprint of their shape. Dude! We're not taking one apart! Look, examines the data, nodding happily. I seize them. They are marvelous. Head fashioned from here, a leg salvaged from there. Yes, yes. Whatever scraps they find, self-constructs exist through pure will. I will assemble the shell for our own construct friend. I will give them shape here in our home, a voice, a link to understand better. But our new friend will need more than a shell, they will need a spark to make their metal bones. These autophage have some tie to the worlds of dissonance, no? I would mine their friend. Search those purple crystals for history, for souls, for echo seeds. Yes, bring our construct friend their spark. Oh boy. So we're gonna build an autophage. Locate an echo seed. Do I already have one? I might already have one. I might already have one. I remember seeing something like that symbol. But it was on my Corvette. Well, it wasn't on my Corvette. It was, you know what, someone... summon my Corvette. Hopefully I didn't just summon my Corvette on top of somebody else's Corvette, because that would suck. I need access to my inventory. I think I picked up something like that. Would I put it in here? Don't see it in here. I could have swore I picked up something like that. Well, what's the heart of the sun? Maybe I didn't? I could have swore I did, but I'm not seeing anything here that would that resembles that. Huh. Okay. Well, let's go find one. We don't need to use the galaxy map because we have a dissonant world. It's right under our freighter. Right in front of us. And we'll just fly there. Hopefully you will key next part of story. This is actually a fairly nice dissonant world. Locate sentient echoes. Woo! Really need to clear that somehow. I wonder if that's in my logs. Does not appear to be. Oh well, we got one there. 364. But they're all over the place. Wait, how come that one says it's the closest and there's one there that's closer, 343? Oh, whatever. We'll tag that one. Tagged it. I can't see it. Wait. I did tag it. Where is it? What the shit? Yeah, I think this is something I gotta do on foot. Or maybe not on foot, but definitely not on my ship. We coming down. As we just run across the surface of the planet collecting Atlantium. We are right at the Echo. Okay. Now what? We're here. What do we do? What do we do? Do I dig? What am I supposed to do? Oh, deploy the scan harmonizer with C. Oh, okay. Well, all right. All right. So now we gotta collect these. I'm guessing. It has echo seeds. Should I have multiple echo seeds? I don't know. We're gonna get a whole bunch of them, I guess. We'll collect a few since they're here. We'll just go ahead and collect a few. Okay, we have 4. That should be enough. that another one? Living fragments. Oh no, that's Atlantium. That's radiant shards. Okay. Let us head back, I guess. And we'll go visit Polo again. I mean, I like that painting on. I like the paint job on the bottom of our ship. I just wish it wasn't chaotic because it's missing. My OCD is gonna fucking hate that white spot right there. That should be painted. God damn it. Ugh. Really? Planetary interference, my ass. I should call the bastards in while I'm sitting on the surface, because it'll spawn them in as close as it possibly can. Which is likely closer than flying up. Let's see about making our new ship soon. Make our new Corvette. That's an interesting looking one. That's a very interesting looking one. Got stuck. Polo, I have the seed for you. Did not know how much I needed it. Construct friend is assembled. Their pieces are not new pieces. Worn metal and crooked ears and stories to tell. I believe you will find they look exactly like Autophage you have met. Okay, so here's the seed. Perfect. The very spark to wake our construct friend. You'll find their shell next to Tethy's friend. See what they puzzled from the Atlantium. Their fresh forged mind may see what we cannot. Wait, where? Tethy's. Oh, he's over here. Oh. We got spider legs and shit. Like what? We built something. I don't know what we built, but we built something here. Good lord. Huge does not particularly resemble the Autophage. I hope Polo knows what they're doing. Okay, well, it's because it has an instant effect upon this pile of scrap metal. The awakened sentient seems momentarily confused, working rapidly to process its surroundings. Shell found where? Star, between, star, shell here. Here shell, intact, safe. Oh boy. Language synthesis partially stabilized. Hello. Odd-looking construct rise excitedly, their facial tubes swaying. They fix all 5 eyes upon me. Here shell feels her. Goes with Atlantium. Here shell is. I know her. All shells know this crystal. All electronic hearts know her. Her? Void, 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 void. I am. Construct. Summoned here by Polo hands and by your hands, other entity, I was made here, but I remember before here, before assembly, a mind is not a body, a mind remembers. Interesting. Yes, I know them. Built others. No entity deserves erasure. They have built. Oh. I am constant here. I am home. Acceptance of no answers. Built others are different. They look for her. Built others respect sturdy hands. Hands that built. Meet them where they are. Knowledge through friendship. Friendship through trust. Okay. I remember. Built others on quiet wavelength. Only a whisper. Long distance trace difficult. Other entity take this memory. Build it to hear them louder. What is this? Autophage resonant key. An attachment for the multi-tool scanner that allows the device to detect and decode the clicking signal of nearby autophage units. I already have this, don't I? In addition, this device can be used to locate autophage gatherings. Use to locate autophage camp and pinpoint a planetary gathering of autophage. Oh, this allows me to find their camps. So I need a quantum computer and some living glass. No problem. Okay. I gotta go back to my ship to do that. Excuse me. Okay. Back to the diamond. The diamond. Diamonds are forever. Okay. And so we need a living glass, which I'm pretty sure I can craft, but I forget how. There's a recipe for it. I don't think the recipe is in here. I think the recipe is... Oh, there it is. Glass and a lubricant. Okay, and lubricant is Fusium and Gamma Root. I don't think I have Gamma Root on me. Do I? That's not the right box. Gamma Root, huh? I have 138 Gamma Root, which I don't believe is enough. I think it said 400 I need. Well, that was interesting. Somebody just took off through me. Okay, so I need some Gamma Root plants. Harvested you guys. Wait, you guys are already harvested. Why are you guys harvested? You guys should not be harvested. You Mordite plants should not be harvested. I did not harvest you. At least I don't recall harvesting you. Okay, I need... What do I need? I need the Gamma Root plants, which I don't think I... Can I craft them? Gamma Root and uranium. I don't know if I have uranium. I'm sure I have Gamma Root, but I don't have... Well, I do have Gamma Root, but I don't know if I have... That's not... I know I have Gamma Root. Do I have uranium? Oh wait, I bought uranium. I did. There it is. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Oh, I don't even know what I picked up. Okay, so we need some Gamma Root. Gamma Weeds, I should say. How long do these take? 4 hours. Alright. I can only plant 2 of them? Son of a bitch. Okay. Well, let's hope they give us some good amount of shit. I should have planted them on a freighter, but that's fine. We'll plant them here instead. So I need Gamma Weeds. Oh, that's actually a thing. It has an element symbol. Okay. As an element, we will put it in the element box. These are I don't believe they need to go here. They probably should. Oh, I need one of you, and I need some living glass, which I can't make because I don't have. I do not have the. No, I don't. Whoops. I do need one of you though. I need a quantum computer, and I think the other thing was the living glass, right? And it has to go in my multi-tool. Leave. I don't have another multi-tool slot. I need to go get a multi-tool slot to put it in here. Okay. So we'll have to head to a station. That's the only place I get the multi-tool slot from. Guess we'll probably have to pay for it unless I have one in my inventory. I might have one in my inventory. Hopefully I do. But we'll head to a station. We'll head to the station. Where is the station? It's the station way over there. Way off. Huzzah! So, while we're traveling here, I am going to return to the Pal World series. I was hoping to wrap up this series before I did that. This series is going to be wrapped up when we reach the Galaxy Center and transfer to the next galaxy. That's when I'm going to wrap up the official series. I am not going to, however, close down this entire, video process or whatever. I'm not gonna leave the save at that point. What I am doing is I'm gonna take it out of my official rotation, because right now Pal World and this game are in the official rotation, which is what I'm calling it. And I'm going to put this save into a casual rotation. So there will be more episodes of this series. They're just not going to be done the same way. They're going to be more on a casual basis. So it's kind of like when I'm feeling like playing No Man's Sky, I'll do a few episodes. It's not going to be a constant, a constant thing like it is now, where I'm bouncing back and forth between No Man's Sky and Pal World. So it's going to still be, I'm still going to be playing this save after we get to the new system. But I will be recording it, but I am not going to be doing, a series of like 7, 8, 10 episodes over a month, kind of thing. And then constantly coming back to, like, constantly scheduling to come back to it. It's going to be, like I said, more of a casual thing. So it'll be kind of along the lines of, hey, we're back in No Man's Sky to play, a few more episodes of this game that we got going. But like I said, it's not going to be scheduled. It's going to be just on the fly. Larval core, warp hypercore. We always take warp hypercores because we love warp hypercores. You guys are amazing. I absolutely love these guilds. Absolutely love them. These guilds are great. If I had, you know what? Dirty thruster. Look at that. I have this dirty thruster, which is really expensive. I'm going to give it to them because I love these guys. So there we go. I just give them that. I give it to them. I didn't spend I didn't get the money for it. I just give it to them. I said, you know what? Here you go. Have this because I absolutely love you guys. You guys do so much for me. Free storage augmentations. I mean, free warp hypercores, free ion batteries. I mean, what the hell, man? I can even grab a larval core here, which I can actually sell for a decent amount of money. So, I absolutely love those guys. The Explorers Guild, the Merchants Guild. This is the absolute first time and I've been playing this since 2016. I've been playing this for 10 years now. This is the first time I have ever gotten into the guilds. I don't even know when they added the guilds, but this is the first time I've ever gotten into the guilds. I love these guys. Absolutely love them. I'm kicking myself for not getting into it earlier in some of my earlier saves because they are so useful. They are so friendly. They are so awesome. I don't actually need for my exosuit, but that's okay. We'll put in a slot anyways. It's my it's this guy that I need, the multi-tool. I need to add a slot. Um, well, okay. I didn't think to grab my... Hold on. I'm pretty sure I have a slot on my ship. I think it's the red one. I think it's the red one. Do I have it in here? I thought I had one. Wait a minute. I'm sure I had one. It was red. What is this? Oh. Well, now I'm confused because this actually doesn't go in here. I thought I had one. I was sure I had one. The storage augmentations. I was sure I had red ones. It looks like that, but it's red. Huh. So I'll put the storage. I'll stack the storage augmentations in here because I'm going to use those on another ship. I'm not going to use them on the one I have now. And you know what? I'll put the freighter one in there too. But I should really focus on saving up the freighter ones. I'll throw that in there too, even though it's going to go on the freighter. Well, this is really interesting because I was absolutely certain. That I had one. That's where it would be if I did. It wouldn't be in the Corvette parts. Although, every time I look at this, I get giddy, thinking of our next Corvette. It's been a while since building one. I like building things. I like construction. That's our next series is actually going to be, or the next series that I do, once I finish up the PAL World, once I finish up No Man's Sky, both of which are actually getting fairly close to completion. Oh, I have a dino parts thing. Yeah, okay. Once I get these two series close to completion, I will be launching a series on Satisfactory, which is another game that I have played in the past, and I think I've even done some videos on it in the past, but I haven't really extensively gotten into. Normally I get past tier 1 and I get into tier 2 and 3, or is it tier 2 and 3? Or is it tier 3? Tier 3 and 4, where you have the coal mining and the coal power plants, and that's usually where I stop. I usually don't go any farther than that. And I find, especially with like the No Man's Sky here, that I am going further, because I'm doing this video series, I'm going further and doing more than I normally would if I was just playing it by myself. And I like that. I like exploring these games. It's just, when I'm playing it by myself, there doesn't seem to be a goal of moving forward. It's like, okay, I've reached a certain point, and now it's kind of dragging out, and I don't want to play it anymore, and da-da-da. But playing it in this method, where I am, where I'm recording it for you guys, and I feel like I'm kind of multiplayer-ish, sort of. It just feels like I want to put more effort into it. Like I want to put more. It pushes me to keep going. So, I mean, even though these videos don't really get that many views, honestly, I go and look at the view counts, and it's like 6 or 7 views and 8 views, whatever. And maybe 1 or 2 of you will actually watch the whole thing. Usually people will cut out in the first, half hour or whatever. But, and that's fine. That's fine. I don't. Like I said, I'm not here for the views. I'm not here for the viewer count. I'm not here to make money off of this in any way. That is a cool looking weapon. But I am hoping that people who are watching are enjoying it. And kind of, when I see that somebody dips out, you know, in the first half hour or whatever, I just for a second I'm like, okay, well maybe they weren't enjoying themselves. But then I go, you know what? Maybe they had something to do. Maybe they couldn't stay for the full 2 hours or 3 hours or however long the episode was. So maybe they had something they had to do. I mean, I've been there before. I've started videos and then it's like, oh, I gotta go do something, or you know, I'll put a video on when I'm going to bed, and you know, I think I'm gonna let that video just play. But then, you know, the light from the TV gets annoying or something like that, or I'm having a weird night, and it's just, I need to turn it off. And I mean, that can reflect back on the person who has that video, or the person who uploaded that video. That could reflect back on them as a case where somebody has started watching their video and then stopped watching their video. And, you know, from me seeing that, I should sell this larval core. From me seeing that, in my own videos, I have to take it with a grain of salt, because I don't know why they left. They could have been called away by their wife or husband, or they could have been called away by a kid, and just never got back to the video, or you know, or maybe they did get back to the video, and I don't know how it records somebody coming back later to watch the rest of the video. You know, to skip ahead and watch the rest of the video. I don't know how that shows in the analytics. So maybe when somebody watches, you know, a 2-hour video for 30 minutes and then they come back, maybe it doesn't show that they came back. I don't know how the stats work. So I try to take my view counts with a grain of salt, because I really don't want to let myself get down because only a certain amount of people are watching it, and some people are cutting out, and some people are, you know, whatever, and I'm not getting a whole pile of likes, or I don't really let that stuff get to me. You know what? I'm gonna do some jumping here. I don't let that stuff get to me, because there's so many things that analytics don't show you. You know, they don't show you if those half-hour dropouts in a 2-hour video were enjoying themselves. They don't. They don't show you that. And they don't show you if, as far as I know, if somebody who watched for a half hour comes back and finishes watching on, say, their cell phone or on a tablet, or, you know, maybe they were watching on their computer or their TV, and they decided, hey, I'm going to switch to my tablet and go lay down. I don't know how that would show, you know, because it's another device. And if they're using cookies or something to tell who's here and who's not, and who stays and who doesn't, then you're not going to have that cookie carry over, because you're on a completely different device. So I watch the analytics with a little bit of a grain of salt. I do like seeing when somebody, you know, somebody comes and watches, and then and just the watch count. I like to see the watch count. So 7 people watch, then 7 people watch. I don't necessarily pay details or go into every video and go, you know, did they stay the whole time, or did they watch for, you know, half an hour and then stop watching. Really doesn't matter to me. Honestly, doesn't matter. I have been doing these videos for, God, 15 years, 20 years now. This wasn't even my first channel. My first channel had a lot of Minecraft content to it, actually. There were some really good Minecraft videos on my first channel. Building a dam, I showed off a dam I built, I showed off a city I built. Really early stuff. Like early Minecraft stuff. And those videos were fun. And I do believe that I went and got some of those videos, and I uploaded them into a playlist on this channel, I do believe. I think I've been here. So this, well, might have, no, yeah, I grabbed everything here. Why can't I? Oh, this is the Mercenaries Guild. I have to, I would have to donate to them to get more stuff. They could take quad servos and salvage glass and the crystallized hearts and the hard frame engines. Okay, let's, and pirate. Okay, let's get our rank up with these guys. Anyway, so I've been doing this. I've been doing this for a long time, doing video recordings. And like I said, I think some of those old videos are uploaded to this channel under a playlist. I think the playlist is something like my old videos or something like that. My old channel, or I forget what the playlist is actually called. It's something like that. It's like my videos for my old channel or something. Um, because when I was younger, I went by the moniker of Viper01, as you know, if anybody who's been with me for a long time knows that. And the reason I gave up that moniker was because every time I would get into a comment section, I would get confused for being 12 years old. And I was like in my 30s or 40s. So they'd be like, "Oh, go away, kid." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" You have no idea who you're talking to. It was actually kind of funny because it was, as I said so many times before, I like being underestimated. Um, and so when somebody's like, "Go away, kid," I'm kind of like, ha ha, it's time to roll out the red carpet. you know, um, so it's fun in that case. I don't think they had it. Did they have the Hydrolane brain there, or did they have the corrected brain? They might have had that one. I'm not entirely sure. I don't even did I got this off a Sentinel ship. I'm pretty sure, and I didn't go do anything with it. That's how I ended up with that. But anyways, um, so yeah, I like being underestimated in that regard, but it told me something, and that was that um, my channel, my moniker, so as it were, is being mistaken for someone who is a teenager or younger, like 12, 13 years old. I was like, okay, it's time for a rebranding because I have grown up. I mean, I had that moniker. I went by that persona since I was that age, since I was about 13, 14, when I started getting into doing MMOs. That's what I used it for first, was MMOs, and then when I started doing videos, when YouTube actually started becoming a thing. Actually, it was websites first, because the websites came along before the channel came along. So uh, there we go. We are now an associate, and that bumps us down to there. Haha! Oh, there's the multi-tool expansion slot. There's one. We need to get a higher level with the mercenaries. Let's find out where we're at with the mercenaries. We can do that in our log if we go under, I think, discoveries? No, catalog? Catalog. So we go into our standings, and we look for the Mercenaries Guild. There we are. Our current standing is 21. In order for us to get to the next standing, we need 9 more to get to Senior. Next rank is Senior, and we get it in 9. So if we check our thing here, we actually need Master. So we have to go past Senior and get to Master to get the multi-tool expansion slot. So that's going to take a while. So I don't think we're going to be able to do that unless we can jump to another station and drop off some more of these. We might be able to bump that up a lot faster, or we have to start doing missions, which is So let's jump to a few more bases, and see if we can. We'll jump to a few more stations and see if we can actually maybe get to a higher level with them. Maybe, I don't know. We'll try. I don't think I have everything that they want, so it's going to be difficult. But anyways, so yeah, my old channel moniker was kind of behind. I started with websites. I had Gaming for Viper01 website, and I ran a couple of servers, which I advertised on that website. And that was before YouTube was a thing. YouTube didn't exist then. So we're talking back. I mean, I come from the days of dial-up. I come from the days of before dial-up. I can remember getting dial-up and how excited I was to get dial-up. Well, my parents got dial-up, and they didn't realize at the time that getting dial-up meant that their phone was going to be tied up all the time. And I played on bulletin boards. I remember Lord, if anybody else remembers Lord, Legend of the Red Dragon. That was a text-based MMO. I call it an MMO because multiple people would play it, and there were interactions with other players in it, but it wasn't interactions like you would see. It wasn't live interactions, basically. But it was an online MMO that you could play, and you could interact with other characters, just not in a live state. And it was a lot of fun. I really wish. I don't know if they did any kind of conversion to make it still playable today. I would love it if they did. I would love it if, maybe somebody converted it to Java or something. Because Legends of the Red Dragon was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And that is a game I would love to play again. Because it was so much fun. So that should get it. That gets us up another 6, I think. Another 6, yeah. We needed 9 to get to the next stage. So we still have some stuff we can send to the next guy. If we find another station with them. But anyways, so I had that moniker for a long, long time. And I really didn't want to get rid of it because it was given to me by a friend. And I mean, that friend got married, and then I got married to a friend of his wife. And we kept up that friendship relationship. And eventually one day, women came between us. And it wasn't like you might be thinking, where we were interested in the same woman. It was our women came between us. I really don't know the details of how they came between us, but I do know that there was a plan to separate us. And that basically happened over, I'm not going to say years. It happened over a very short period of time. My friend had children with his wife. And I was a stepfather. I was a stepfather with my wife and her kids. And I was involved. I was very involved. The daughter was older, so she was kind of doing her own thing by the time I came along. The son was younger, and me and him seemed to get along pretty well. I helped him come out to his family, who was very, very strict Catholic. I was not strict Catholic. In fact, by that time I was atheist myself. And atheism is not what you think it is. It's not, anti-God or anti-religion or or pro-devil or anything like that, devil worshipping, nothing like that. Don't listen to the hype. It's nothing like that. Atheism, in my view, is it's not the denial of religion. It's not the denial of a supreme being. It is the realization that whatever there is beyond us, whether it be heaven and hell, or whether it be some kind of afterlife, or whether there's nothing, we are not meant to know what that is. We're not meant to know. And our belief systems can trigger things um, that just aren't there. Not necessarily aren't there, but we can see signs of things that our belief system puts in front of us. So like the shroud of Turin, whatever it is, the Holy Shroud, whatever. Um, when you look at the shroud, it gives you the typical church Jesus impression. When you look at that, you see the church Jesus impression. You see the white man with his long beard and the long hair and the you know that's what you see in the Shroud of Turin. But if you look at history, um, and you read into the Bible, which I have even as an atheist, I've read the Bible from front cover to back cover because I want to know what I'm talking about. And I've read some other books too. I've read a little bit of the Quran. I have English translated, of course. I've read some documents on Buddha. I've read a few things on Muhammad. I have you know, because I want to be educated. I want to know this stuff. I might not believe in it, but I'm interested in it. I have some friends at work uh, who are what are they? They're Muslim, and I've asked all the time. I'm like, tell me something. Tell me stuff about your religion. I'm interested. Tell me, what your holidays are, or what your beliefs are. This, that, and the other. I bought one of my coworkers a prayer mat as a gift because I saw him doing prayers at work, kneeling on cardboard. I was like, dude, So as a gift, because he's a friend, I bought him a prayer mat. And I bought him a really nice one, apparently. I didn't know anything from prayer mats. I just went to the reviews and was like, okay, what, is it comfortable? Is it nice? Is it, easy to clean? So I bought him a prayer mat, and he uses it at work. And I totally respect that. I respect people who believe in their faith and follow their faith, because to me that's just a sign that you are a person who believes in something. When you believe in something, you see it through. And to me that's a sign of character. It doesn't have to be religion. It could be anything. It could be a friend making a promise to me and then fulfilling it. Like saying, hey, this weekend I'm going to do this for you, and then they follow through with it. That to me is, I don't have a lot with these guys. That to me is the sign of somebody with integrity. And the same thing with religion. If you have religious integrity, it shows you have integrity as a human being. But again, you got to take that. You have to take that as a whole person, not just as one thing. Religious integrity does not necessarily mean you're a good person. So you have to take it as a combination of other stuff as well. Because I know some Catholics, and I know some other people, other religious faiths. I live in an Italian community, or at least it was an Italian community. Now it's moving more towards an East Indian kind of community. But I grew up in an Italian community, so what I know is Catholic, because Catholic is extremely heavy here. So when I say Catholic, or when I use an example of Catholics or Catholicism, I'm going by my own personal experience. I'm not actually saying this is the way it is everywhere. I'm saying this is my personal experience. And my personal experience with the Catholics of this area is that the people who are the most Catholic tend to also be the most judgmental and the most what's the way to put it? They don't follow their faith. They don't follow what they're told. They go out into the world, and they are greedy people who nickel and dime everything, who who will use people for their own advancements, for their own means. They'll use people for their own means. They'll like underpay them. They'll be rude to them at times. They will, it's like the image they want to put forth into the community is that they are saintly, but behind the scenes, they are actually some of the most horrible people I've ever met. They don't care for if they run a business. They don't care about their workers. They really don't. They couldn't give a shit about their workers. They put demands on their workers that are unreasonable. They want to pay their workers the least amount of money they can possibly pay them while getting the most work out of them or the best work out of them. They over expect, they over demand. And then they go on Sunday to church, do their confessions. And to them that's all they have to do. And they're saintly again. And to me, I don't see that. I don't see that aspect of religion. I don't see where you can just... they're so focused on the Bible saying, if you come to me for forgiveness, all of your transgressions are forgiven. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that. When you read the rest of the Bible, when you read through the rest of the Bible, and you see how vindictive and how uncaring the Lord can be in that Bible, from his own teachings, having someone sacrifice their child, it's the quote unquote loving God is not in that Bible. It's not seen in that Bible. Destroying cities and slaughtering the young. Sodom and Gomorrah, there were innocents in Sodom and Gomorrah, and I just sit back and I'm like, this is not the story of somebody who loves their children. If you love your children, you will not destroy them. You will penalize them. You will like look at you. If you have a child, look at you. You will discipline your child, right? You're not going to kill your child if they do something wrong, or if they go out drinking, or if they if they're whatever evil deed they do. If they bully another kid, for example, you're not going to kill your kid for that. That's ridiculous. And so when I look at a supreme being like a god or whatever, and I see the stories of all the people that he's butchered and all the sacrifices that he's asked to be made, sacrifices that are just beyond reasonable. Like, for crying out loud, he had somebody kill their son. Say, if you believe in me, I want you to kill your son. What the fuck? How can you believe in that? How can you believe that supreme being is good after something like that? Or after, take the firstborns of Egypt, for example. I'm going to kill all the firstborns of Egypt. What the fuck did they do? They're kids. They're children. What the? You're gonna kill all the first sons of Egypt because why? Because of their parents? What the fuck kind of a being are you? Like, that's just, I can't even. We're gonna kill kids. We're gonna kill kids to teach their parents a lesson. That is not a good deity. That is not a good deity at all. That I don't know how anybody could follow that or support that in any frickin' way. And those are just a few small examples. Those are a few small examples. Um, so when I and you know, the further you are into religion, the more you seem to ignore that stuff, or the more you, how should we put it? The more you let it slide. You're like, oh well, he did that because of this. He did that, you know. He asked him to kill his son because, you know, that because of this or that or something else. There's no justification for it, people. There's no justification. You you make up the justification yourself, and you're just throwing out the justification because you don't want to admit that that was wrong. You are so buried in this religion that you don't want to admit that that is wrong. That is not good. And if you go back, and the further you go back in the Bible, like if you start going back and back and back, you'll see changes that were made to the Bible. Changes that were made to this holy book, which is supposed to be holy. It's supposed to be, you know, the Word. But you will see changes that were made to this book over time. And you can do that. You can actually go online and you can look up on religious websites or historical websites. You can look up changes that have been made with the different versions of the Bible from, you know, back then, our earliest count, to like the Gutenberg. And earlier than that, you know, we have documentation from earlier than that. But you can go back to these early versions of the Bible, and you can compare them to today's Bibles, and you can see the differences, the changes that were made. And there have been changes. There have been different ways of saying things. They've adjusted how they say things. They've adjusted how information is presented. And in doing that, to me, it's basically admitting that, well, you know, our religion's not really being seen in the best light here, so we're gonna soften it up a little bit. But when you do that, you're changing the word that originally was, you know. So maybe somebody wasn't stoned to death. Maybe they were just stoned, or you know, maybe he didn't ask for this to happen. He you know, changed it up a little bit. You know, don't kill this person. Just wound them now, or just go to kill them, and then I'll stop you at the last minute. You know, different things that soften the story so it's not as harsh. It's not as shocking to the reader. And I think if you have to do that, you're basically admitting, maybe not to yourself, but you're admitting that maybe there's not a whole lot of good here. Maybe it's not as good as, or maybe our the person we're following, or the being that we're following, or the book that we're following, isn't as holy as we believe it to be. And you can find this in all religious texts. You can find this in basically every religious text. You can find this, whether it be following, you know, Catholicism, or following the Prophet Muhammad, or following whatever you follow. You can find this kind of thing happening in basically every religion, and that's human nature. That's human nature to go back and say, well, we need to edit this because it doesn't sound right. I mean, how many times do you post a comment on a website, and then you're like, oh, well, maybe I didn't come across right, so I need to go change that. I need to adjust that. You know, how many times do you do that? How many times have you done that? I'm not finding the module I'm looking for here. It's kind of getting annoying. But how many times do you do that? And now we put this, you know, something that we follow, this religious document that people follow religiously, so to speak, and we make these little changes to it to make it sound more appealing. And we raise our kids into this, you know, we raise our kids into this, we take them when they're young, you know, and you bring them to church. You bring them to church before they even understand the words that are being spoken. You take them to your church, so they're used to that environment. They grow up in that environment. They're comfortable with that environment, and then you introduce them in fun ways to, you know, Sunday school and whatever. This is fun. You know, the Lord loves you. You know, and so on and so forth. And you raise them into this religion. It's not their choice. It's not their choice. And then when they reach a certain age, you know, and they reach an age where they can think for themselves, and they start to think for themselves, and they realize, hey, maybe this isn't me. This isn't for me. And depending on what religion you're with, you can be ridiculed. Some religions you can actually be ousted. You could lose your family at that point. You know, your family could walk away from you at that point and say, okay, you're not my son. Whatever, you're not my daughter. You're not my son. We're done. You know, and that is, I mean, that fear, driving that fear. And I know there's people out there who have gone through this, because I've been there. I've seen this happen. In fact, like I said, my former stepson was so afraid to come out to his family that he came to me, knowing that I was an atheist and I wasn't a believer or anything like that. He came to me and he told me first, and he said, I don't know how to do this. I need help. I need help to bring this out to my family. And of course, it was plain as day. He had all the I'm going to call them symptoms, but you could tell that he was gay. He had the speech. He had the femininity sort of that comes along with a lot of female-sided gay relationships. He just had that, so you could tell. You could just tell. And when he came out to me, I was like, oh yeah, I know. And I was like, I appreciate you coming to me. I appreciate your trust that you have in me to bring this to me, and know that this doesn't change anything between us. You know, it doesn't change anything. This is who you are. I've known since I met you that this is who you are. But I wanted you to be comfortable coming to me. I didn't want to force this on you. So I just let you be you. You know, it doesn't change anything. It didn't change a thing. Except he was more open with me after that. It was more of a, there was more of a bond after that. Which, hey, that was great. It's sad that things happened between, it's sad that his mother did things that, led me to no longer be a part of that family. But, I can't change that. I can't change the person that she is. But anyways, as I said, I am an atheist in that regard. It's not an anti-religion. It's not an anti-religion. It's more of a, I don't follow religion. I don't follow a specific religion because I do not. I think that whatever is after us, is after our existence, is not noble to us. We can't know what's beyond. Whether there's an afterlife, whether it's just darkness, whether it's whether our spark goes out, whether we rejoin some Gaia. There are so many different aspects to the afterlife that we don't know about. We don't even know if there is an afterlife. Like I said, everybody's experience is based on things that they don't understand. If you've had, an afterlife experience because you've quote unquote died, it doesn't necessarily mean that you've been to the afterlife. It means that your brain was doing things. Your brain was doing things that you don't understand. It doesn't mean that, you know, oh, I saw a light. Well, of course, because maybe electrical impulses were going through certain parts of your brain and you were seeing light. You know, people who, there's pilots who experience blackouts and whiteouts all the time. Um, you know, that's due to G-forces, but it has a similar effect. Blood circulation, electrical impulses in your brain, they all do things. Whether those impulses are lacking, whether they're not lacking, you know, there's the whole thing where a woman was having a seizure, and before the seizure, she would smell burnt toast. Well, there was no toast burning. It was something in her brain that was sending the signal for burnt toast, and that's when she would experience a seizure. And there's other such cases like that. So you can't trust in a moment of uh, in a moment of that kind of situation where your body is failing. You can't trust what you see or what you hear or what you feel at that point, because your body is doing weird shit, basically. Um, we need this freaking component. I can't find anything. We need this. We need a multi-tool slot. We don't have the ability to do it. I'm trying to think of another way we can get a multi-tool slot. Um, so anyway, when you're on your deathbed, or when you're quote unquote dying, your brain is going to do all kinds of weird things, and some of those things you're going to remember, some of those things you're not going to remember, but it's going to be doing weird things. And you know, just like when you sleep, your brain does weird things. You have dreams. You might have a dream. You might have not have a dream. I mean, this morning when I woke up, I was in such a groggy nature that I looked up to the corner of my room, and I could have swore there was a giant spider there making a web. Like, I was seeing this black dot or whatever moving around the corner of the room that I was staring at. And once my grogginess started to fade, the dot started to fade, and it was gone. It vanished. There was no web, there was no spider, but I could have swore for the first minute of grogginess when I was waking up that there was a spider in the top corner of my room building a nest, or building a web. And it looked so real, and I was like, I need to find something to crush that. That was what was going through my head. I need to find something to whack that thing. Um, that was what was going through my head. And honestly, if I would have had something nearby, I probably would have threw it at it. It was that realistic. But again, that was, my brain was groggy, and it was doing things um, that were abnormal. I was seeing this dot there, and thinking, my brain was putting together that, oh, it's a black dot. It's in the corner of my room. It's got to be a spider. So all of a sudden, I was seeing a spider building a nest, or building a web. And that's actually, there was nothing there. There was no web. There was no spider. There was no dot. There was nothing. It was just my brain was playing tricks on me because I just woke up, and I was groggy because I had a rough sleep. Um, so you can't always believe everything that's going on in your brain, or everything that you see, everything that you hear. You can't always believe it, especially if you're in a state where you're not functioning as normal. Um, trying to think of a way I can do this. I mean, I guess I could take out the geology cannon temporarily for that. I don't want to take out any of the plasma launchers, and I just use neutron cannons, and so I'm not taking those out because that's now my primary weapon, basically, for like ship missions and stuff. Well, that's just a ricochet module. You know what? I can take that out. I can take out the ricochet module, and we'll put in the scanner there. This thing. I still gotta get the living glass. The Atlanteum's on our ship. So anyway, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, yeah. So you can't always like after you know afterlife experiences. You can't go by those, especially if they're deathbed experiences, uh, because your brain's not functioning normal at that point. You know, you might think you're seeing light when it could be pressure on your brain. It could be swelling. It could be anything. It could be blood loss. It could be anything. So I personally don't follow those. I don't take those as being gospel, so to speak, um, or as evidence that there is something beyond. Same with things like ghosts and stuff. Do ghosts exist? Who knows? Do ghosts exist? Who knows? Our minds play tricks on us during all kinds of things, especially if we want it to. That's the key point there. Especially if we want it to. Most ghost hunters want to experience something. So, and so they do. Every little noise becomes a spirit. Every little creak of a house becomes a spirit. Everything, everything. It's all spirits. Um, do I believe in haunted houses? Not really. Do I believe in energies? Yes, I do believe in energy, and that you can leave energy places. We experience that all the time. If somebody comes into work and they're in a great mood, they can have an influence on others in that workplace to also have a great mood. Energy is contagious, and I believe energy can be left behind. If something terrible happens in a place, it can leave behind energy, which will affect others who enter that place. Positively or negatively, doesn't really matter. How you perceive that, you just perceive it. You perceive it in the way that your brain interprets it. So, you want to see a ghost, you're going to see a ghost. And I know before everybody starts in the comment sections, there's been photographic recordings of ghosts on staircases and all that. I actually was fascinated by that stuff when I was growing up. Um, loved seeing the photographic evidence, documentation, all that stuff of ghosts and staircases. I think one was called the Brown Lady or something like that. Um, I love that stuff. I absolutely love that stuff. Do I believe in it? Not really. Not really. Like I said, I do believe in energies. I don't believe in spirits, like ghosts being left behind to haunt locations. Again, I don't know what happens in the afterlife. I do believe that we are made of energy. Can that energy manifest? Possible. Like I said, I don't claim to know. I don't claim to know. I go by odds in that case. The odds of somebody dying and their energy remaining there, I would think that would be high. The odds of their actual spirit being there, I would believe that really low. hmm. I really don't know where to go here to get this living glass now. We need the living glass. We need the hell do we need? We need gamma root for that. I know we've had some planets that have had gamma root on it, but I don't know what the hell they are or where the hell they are. You know what? I could probably find that in our. If I do a quick check of our discoveries, maybe I can find it here. I wish there was a search here so I could search for gamma root instead of having to, because the only other way to do it is going like this. That's the only other way to find gamma root, the gamma root is to, you know, scroll through the damn systems. Like, look at all the systems we've been to. It's crazy. We got Gex systems, Korvax systems, Akini systems, uninhabited systems, abandoned systems. Red, green, blue. I mean, okay, so this is one of our homes. Oh, look, gamma root. We have a gamma root. We don't have gamma root on the planet that we're on, but we do have a system with gamma root there. That is the Regute system. Oh, that's our dissonant outpost. Okay, so if we go to our dissonant outpost and fly to this planet here, it has gamma root, which is what we need. So let's go to our dissonant outpost, which is this one. As long as we leave our freighter where it is, we can always get back to this system. So let's go to our dissonant system, because this is before we made our jump. This is way back. This is before we found the secret code to get us really close to the center. So we'll jump here, and we'll go to the gamma root planet. We'll collect gamma root, and then we can make our stuff. But yeah, anyway. So when I was talking about atheism, a lot of people have atheism all mixed up. Atheism, in my opinion, as an atheist, is nothing more than saying you don't believe in the religions that are currently in existence. It's not saying that you know what is after this life, or what made the universe, or what. It's not saying that you know that. It is saying that you don't agree or don't believe what is out there as being the you don't believe the religions that are out there as being the definitive truth. That's all it is. That's all it is. So by me saying that I'm an atheist, all I'm saying is that I don't believe in. I don't believe that religion has given us an explanation of the universe, including the afterlife, including, you know, gods and whatever, that kind of stuff. I mean, it's just natural for humans to look up to the sky and feel that there's some supreme being. Or supreme beings. That's how we explain our world. That's how we explain our world to ourselves. Well, I don't know how this works, so it's God. It's a miracle. It's, you know, God did it. That's makes it easy for us to quantify our world. How did the universe get created? Well, I don't know. God waved his magic wand. You know. And we humans have been doing that for forever. Forever. We've been doing that forever. Look at the we actually have a we actually have an example of that on this very planet. We have seen it happen with the cargo cult. Have you ever heard of the cargo cult? If you haven't, go look it up. It's the perfect example of religion being formed because of something you don't understand. People saw this ancient village that was basically cut off from the world. This ancient group of people. I say ancient. It's not really ancient. It's just a group of people that were cut off from the world. Saw cargo airplanes, and they formed a religion around that. Because they couldn't explain it. It must have been godly. It must have been a deity. It must have been a supreme being that created it. We know they were just airplanes. They're just cargo airplanes. You know, humans invented them. But to these people, it became a faith, because it was something that they could not explain. So their explanation was, oh, it must have been, they must be gods. You know? Um, and so we have that living example of how religions can form just based on needing to explain how something works in the world. They had no idea how planes flew, so it had to be something from the afterlife. It had to be, or something from, it had to be a god. So we have a clear example of that happening on our very world, and it has been basically ignored. Like religions, they don't want you. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about, hey, well, maybe our religion was created in the same manner. You know, we didn't understand something, so we created it. I mean, look at how many early religions worshipped the sun, which we all know is just a star. There's millions of them. But how many religions were formed worshiping the sun? You know, it's and you look at those religions now and you say, oh well, they can't be compared to you know my religion, because my religion had something that was real. You know, my religion had people that were real. Whether it be the Prophet Muhammad, which we know existed, whether it be Jesus Christ, who we still don't know if the things that were written about Jesus Christ were actually true. Was there a person with that name? Very possible. Very possible. I'm not going to say there wasn't. Did he come back to the living from being dead? Likely not. Likely not. Um, you know, he either may not have actually been dead, or his story may have been exaggerated after his death. You know, because the religion needed him to live on. So it's possible that he didn't die. It's possible that he had a child, and you know, we're saying that he was resurrected or lived on, when in actuality it was, he lived on through a child. It's we weren't there. We weren't there. We can't know. Anybody who says we can know is lying to themselves. We can't know what happened. We don't even honestly know what the person's real background was. You go to every church, you see a white man up on a cross. That area of the world did not have white men. Back when Jesus existed, or supposedly existed, there was no white man in that part of the world. But there were white men in Rome. you know, uh, there were white men in parts of the area that wrote the book, where the book was created, crafted, put together. You know, where the religion actually took off and became what it is today. There were certainly white men there who may or may not have adjusted the image to, you know, I guess the term would be whitewash what this Jesus person actually looked like. Um, so you know, I look at that stuff as somebody who is informed, as somebody who is um, who likes to learn, who likes to think of himself as being intelligent. I know there's a lot of stuff I don't know, and I'm smart enough to know that. A smart person acknowledges what they don't know, and that, I think, is is the key to being an atheist, is that you are acknowledging that you don't know. You don't know. I'm not picking a religion because I don't know, which one's right. I can certainly say that there is a lot wrong with most, if not all, religions. I can certainly say there are holes in the stories. There are definitely things that have been exaggerated. So, and the fact that some religions are based off others doesn't change that fact. If your religion is based off another religion, that all that means is you've cleaned up a little bit. You've cleaned up the books a little bit, but you still don't know, because that other religion, was it true? Was it not? Doesn't know. You don't know. But you took you took a part of that religion and made it your own. So, but you don't know. You can't know. We are limited beings. We don't have the ability to see beyond our existence. We don't have that ability. It doesn't exist. So that's where we're at, and that's what atheism is all about. It's just acknowledging that you don't know, and you don't have a way of knowing, and that doesn't necessarily. Actually, I shouldn't say necessarily. I should say it doesn't. It doesn't mean automatically that another religion is correct because I'm saying that I don't know for sure. That's not what that is. That's what you call backward reasoning. That's what you call backward reasoning. I can't prove your religion is wrong, so therefore it's right. That's not how things work. That's not how things work at all. It's more like I have proof that part of your religion is wrong, or that part of your religion is not correct. Ergo, I could safely say that if your religion is something I'm supposed to follow to the letter, or is supposed to be infallible, if your religion is supposed to be infallible, and I found a flaw with it, then it can't be infallible. Right? So, I'm not saying everything in your religion is wrong or everything in your religion is false. I'm just saying that, as a whole, your religion has holes in it. So, am I going to take it as gospel? No, because I've already shown that it's got holes in it. It's simple as that. You can't take something as gospel if you know part of it is untrue. It's either got to be all or nothing, and that's how the atheist mindset works. If you want me to follow your original religion, you have to show me that your entire religion is 100% true and accurate. There is no second guessing it. There is no falsehood in it. There is, it's 100% honest. And there's no religion on the planet that can do that. There's no religion on the planet that can do that. So, I don't follow any religion on the planet. And that's what it means to be, in my mind, that's what it means to be an atheist. You've not found truth in any of the available religions. So, you choose to go on with your life, knowing that you don't know. It's just acknowledging that you don't know. And it's kind of acknowledging that you can't know. And a lot of religious backers will say, well, that's kind of an empty way to lead your life. It doesn't make you a good person. And I have already said And I've already basically outlined that just because you believe in a religion does not make you a good person. In fact, as I said, a lot of the people I know who are the most religious are actually the worst people. They want to show themselves in the world as being these saints. I'm religious. I follow my religious faith. I am you know I go to church every Sunday. I go to confession, and I'm absolved of all my sins, and all of this stuff. And then they'll go to work on Monday and treat their employees like absolute shit. They won't pay them a living wage. They'll reprimand them for piddly shit. They'll talk down to them. They'll just be the absolute dregs of humanity, uncaring, uncaring. Don't give a shit about your family. Don't know anything about you as an employer. They know nothing about you, other than your work ethic, whether you're at work on time or whether you're 2 minutes late. That's all they know about you. They have no interest in your family, no interest in your knowing anything about you, no interest in learning anything about you. You're just a number to them. You're an employee. You're a paycheck. You're somebody that they give money to, and they want to make sure that they get the most for their buck. That's the kind of people they are. But they go to church every Sunday and they put out this image into the world that they're such a good person. They don't want to be seen as the person who they really are. They put out this image that they are such a good person. They're there for the community. They'll support charities and do charity drives and all that. Meanwhile, advertising their product right beside the charity. You know, like the charity for the homeless, for example, would be like, they I work for a dealership. And I'm not ousting my boss in any way. I'm just saying that I work for a dealership, so I've seen this example myself. Because I've seen, and a lot of dealerships will do it. They'll have like their brand new vehicle sitting out, and they'll be like maybe it's a truck, and they'll say, fill the bed of the truck with groceries, and that's the campaign that they're on. Fill the bed of the truck with groceries for the homeless shelter. Meanwhile, it's their brand new truck. They have the price sticker on the window, and they're showing it off, and there's people that come by like, oh, this is the new truck. It's not about the campaign necessarily. For them, it's not about the campaign. It's about it's not about the giving. It's about the advertising. They're doing a charity, yes, which is great, but they're taking recognition for the charity when it's actually, to them, it's advertising. it's basically free advertising, because they get to put their in that example, they get to put their vehicles in certain places. They'll put them outside of grocery stores. They'll put them on street corners, popular street corners, that kind of stuff. And they'll be like, hey, here's a charity. And meanwhile, what they're interested in is showing off their new make or model of vehicle. And so it's an image that if you know the person, you see right through it. If you don't know the person, they look like a saint to the community. And that's kind of the thing you have to watch with religions. Are the people really good, or are they like? What's the religion teaching them? Is it teaching them that they could be absolved of all their sins, so go ahead and sin as much as you want? Go ahead and be a horrible person, because every Sunday you're going to come here and be absolved of your entire week of nonsense. I mean, for crying out loud, you have um, murderers and child rapists and all that get absolved on their deathbed before they go to before they go to the electric chair or to the injection site for being put to death. Like, they get absolution before that happens. It's like, really? If you're a follower of that religion, you believe that person who did so many heinous things in this world is absolved of their sins just right at their deathbed. That's them being killed as penance for all that they've done. Is that what your religion is showing you or teaching you? Or, I mean, it must be. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I personally, I can't follow any religions, and like I said, I'm heavy on the Catholic because that's what I know. That's the that's the area I've grown up in. You know, that's the religion that I've grown up around was Catholicism, and I myself was raised to be United, which is a little more open-minded. A little more open-minded in that regard. I'm not going to use the observatory because that's going to take me to a... That's going to give me a waypoint. I think I have enough of the... I think I have enough of the stuff now to make the living glass. I was just going crazy here with the gamma root so I can plant more. I want to be able to plant more after I crafted the living glass. So, let's go to our exosuit and let's make the... What did I need for the lubricant? I needed Fecium as well. Okay. So let's grab some Fecium. Went on a tangent there with that discussion. I apologize for that. That's why I have the warning up at the start that says we may discuss things that are not necessarily, you might not want to hear it. Okay, I need 5 glass. These are things that you may not want to hear. You may have a hard time hearing. Might get me canceled. I don't really care. I don't care if it gets me canceled. You can't cancel somebody who has nothing to lose. I don't make money off of any of this. So, whether I have viewers or not doesn't matter to me. I like when people view. I like when people come and enjoy what I have to provide here. But it's not a make or break for me. I'm not going to vanish if somebody disagrees with me. Let's see. Put this in here and that in here. Actually, the gamma root I should keep out because I'm going to plant more. Plant more over here. Or maybe I'll... No, I don't want to plant it on the ship. I'll plant it here. Gamma weed. Oh, I don't have any uranium. I gotta go grab my uranium. And then we'll plant that. Uranium. Where are you? There you are. Okay. So anyway, that's my outlook on religion. I do respect people for their beliefs. I respect people as far as... I don't respect people for their beliefs. I respect that people have beliefs. And I respect people who show that they are dependable through their beliefs. I guess dependable would not be the proper word. It would be more... what's the word I'm looking for? Reliable. Reliable, maybe? Reliable through their beliefs. Someone you can count on. That kind of thing. So again, I might not support somebody. I might not believe somebody's belief, but I will support them in their belief if I see that you know, it is something that they are something that makes them a better person. You know, if it's something that makes them a better person, then I believe that's a good thing. That's a good thing for religion. If it's something that does not make them a better person, if they just believe, you know, as I said, that all their sins are going to be, you know, forgiven, so that they can basically be whatever kind of human they want to be, then I do not believe that's basically being a good human being. I don't believe that's a good influence. That kind of a religion is a good influence. You know, it's kind of like if your religion tells you to go destroy infidels who don't follow that religion. That's, to me, that's not a religion. That's a cult. That's that's not a religion at all. That is definitely a bad thing. That's definitely a bad thing. I want you to spread out amongst the world and kill all the infidels. Well, this is not a loving God, is it? This is not somebody who cares for people. In fact, as a deity, I would say that this is probably a god who would turn his back on you if it suited him. So why you would follow something like that, I don't know. Okay, I want the expansion room for industrial, right? Industrial. The industrial expansion room. So we can make the industrial side a little bit nicer. Huzzah! We're going to eventually unlock all of these, and hopefully unlock all of these. And I don't know if I'm going to unlock these, because these require certain things, and they're only temporary. They only work for one expedition. So you can see this one just allows fleet commanders to gain the upper hand in negotiation. This one here overclocks fleet systems, allowing faster and light calculations. So this one makes it faster. This one here, mining crews, faster processing, easier transportation. So, you know, and then this one here, programmed to launch the fleet pilot directly. This makes fighting easier. And then this one here, of course, saves fuel, and of course speeds things up. But this stuff here, I've never found this stuff to be necessary, honestly. They're just like I said, it's a one-time use. So it's kind of, to me, it's a waste of resources. All right, so coming down this hall, we have our freighter room, which we can now fix up. We now fix it up and make it nicer. We're going to basically get rid of the hallway between these and replace it with the open room, industrial room, open industrial room. So we're gonna delete the hallway. Bye hallway. Whoops. Delete the hallway. We're gonna delete that hallway, and we're gonna delete this hallway. Just throwing the keck out into space. It's like, whoopsie. And then we'll replace them with the actual industrial room. We have a staircase on the other side of that wall, so we can't replace that. But this does open it up. This does open this room up nice, a lot nicer than it is, than it was, I should say. So now we can actually come into the industrial room. The damn wall keeps vanishing. Anytime I make an adjustment here, this freighter wall vanishes. Okay. So yeah, now we come into this nice industrial room. We'll put a door here, just to give it a sense of its own room. So we come over here through this bulkhead door, and we're into our nice industrial room, nice big industrial room. We have our stellar extractors, which we can now rotate. I'm gonna make sure there's nothing in them first. Whoa, look at all the stuff we got here. Awesome. We've spent some time in other systems. So we have... It's kind of funny how some of them gather stuff and some of them don't. Some of them seem to gather stuff and some of them don't. I'm not exactly sure why. Not exactly sure why that is. I think I'll do away with that one, and we'll continue the corridor over there, the glass corridor. We'll just continue that around that way. That because this is the front of the ship right here, so we can't go any further than that. So we have our nice. There's our diamond. So we have our nice corridor that comes around like this. And we can see the back of the pirate ship here. It's kind of cool that it actually places it where it would be, behind the bridge. Kind of sucks you can't see it from the outside, but it's cool that it is visible from the inside. So we have our kind of security station, I guess you want to call it, maybe. The door's being held open by the guy that's on the other side. And then over here we have our fleet command room. Nice, crisp, clean fleet command room. And upstairs we have our nice open room here. Can I put windows on the roof? I would love to be able to put a window on the roof. That would be cool. I've seen that in some other people had playthroughs, and I've seen that in their playthroughs where they had... Oh, I was supposed to do I was supposed to count. Okay. Wait, I got 200, so that's 50 a piece there. This is another 200. So 50 a piece there. Okay. Because I'm supposed to be counting this. I'm supposed to be counting this. So each selenium one... SOL gives you 50. 50 per. Okay. And they take, what, 16 hours, something like that? Now, each frost wart gives you what? Also 50. Okay, so each frost wart gives you 50. $50 per. I wonder if that's because of we're on the ship. Because I remember there was different for I wonder if that's just because of the ship. That's got me thinking now. Because I remember frost crystals... I didn't think frost crystals were 50 when I was catching them before, when I was collecting them before. I didn't think I was getting 50 per on the base. Maybe I was? Or wait, not on the base. Maybe it was on the ship. It was on the ship. I think I was getting less on the ship. I'm not exactly sure. But we have the frost crystals and we have the other thing, so we can make these guys. And we actually have the right balance too. We have 100 frost crystals. Well, we're getting 200 frost crystals when we do the harvest, and we're getting 400 selenium, so we can make 2 of these. So we can make 2 of them. We can actually make more right now because we have more frost crystals and selenium, so we can make more right now. But with this harvest, we can make 2 of them. Because we'll get our... Wait, two of them? 50, 100... Yeah, because we'll get 200 here, we'll get 200 here, and we'll get 100 here. So that's 2, 4, and... Wait, no, we get 200 here. 2, 4, and here we'll get 2. So 2, 4, and 2, which is 2, 4, and 2. Yeah, so that's 2. So we'll get 2 heat capacitors for every harvest, every time we harvest here. And I'm just gonna make as much as we can here. We don't have any more. Okay. So we're missing. I was able to make 3 of them. Those will sell for credits at our selling station, which is way over here. Is this a good place to sell them, or is it a bad place to sell them? Let's find out. This is a meh, kind of mediocre place to sell them. It's minus 3.4, but that's still all right. Okay, that's free money. It's money we didn't have. Why? I don't know why that already had a salt programmed into it. I was trying to figure out why it was a different shade of green. It was because it had something programmed into it already, which it shouldn't have had. Okay, so we'll drop this stuff here. Alright, we have 2 warp cells for our freighter. So we'll toss those in there. And then we got to go continue our mission because we have our device installed now in our multi-tool. We now have this scanner installed. We have to charge it with Atlanteum. Here we go. And we can go locate an autophage camp. So, let us do just that. You know what? I'm going to take my... Just in case I need materials, I'm going to take my Corvette. Now, hopefully, oops, hopefully, nobody's really offended in me explaining my own beliefs, or lack thereof. If you are, be a better person. If you are offended, be a better person. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. We should be able to have religious differences. That should be fine with religion. Right. The basis of religion in a god or individual who actually cares about people should be that you are free to believe what you want to believe. That should be the basis of any religion. You don't judge people based on their beliefs. Especially if your quote-unquote God is supposed to be a loving individual. Alright, let's... what do I gotta use? Good, just C? Oh wait, no. Or is it... Do I gotta use this? No. How the hell am I supposed to find it? Let's go to our... Here. Report... Oh, we gotta report to NADA. Damn it. I didn't realize I had to go to NADA first. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Back down. We're gonna do this right. Alright, let me out of my C. Okay, now we're gonna spawn the anomaly. Roll forth. Oh, can't call the anomaly when I'm in my ship, huh? Or did they take that away? Did they take away the ability to call the anomaly from... Or you have to be on the planet's surface to do that. I thought you could call the anomaly from... I can't even call my freighter. I have to get away from my ship? Yeah, I had to sneeze, sorry. So I can call... Okay, I can call my freighter. Wow. That fucker's right there. Holy shit. Yeah, that is right there. Don't tell me I can't spawn my frickin' freighter close to a planet. That's crazy. I thought you could do the same thing with the anomaly, but I guess not. I was pretty sure you could call the anomaly from the ground. Huh. That's crazy. That is crazy scary. That's my entire fleet right there. Oh, I don't want the galaxy map. Get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of there. I want the anomaly. Planetary interference. Yeah, right. That's why my freighter can be here. So, am I... It says it seems like they're enslaved by the Atlanteum. I wonder if I'm trying to free them from the Atlanteum. That would be kind of cool. If that's our goal here. Kind of like a drug user freeing a drug user from the drug that they're addicted to. That's cool. That's a worthy cause. I'm up for that. I like that. Of course, that's another subject all entirely together. I had that floating through my brain, and I don't know if I should get into that. I had that floating through my brain yesterday. As I basically saw a homeless person who was clearly not in their right frame of mind. I don't know if they were on something or not, but they did not seem to be in the right frame of mind. They seemed to be a little bit out of it, shall we say. Possible they were on something. Possible they just have a mental disability. I mean, I don't judge. But for some reason, and the reason that I was kind of taken aback was this individual. I was waiting at a stoplight, and this individual was waiting to cross, and I got a green arrow to make my turn, and this person started walking across the intersection, or like walking as if they got a walk signal. And I'm like, dude, I'm supposed to be going, you're supposed to be standing there still. What blueprint? So anyway, I was just sitting there through the whole turn arrow. Like, the turn arrow went orange, and then it went away, and then it went green light, and this person took that entire time to cross the street. And I'm like, the hell? And something in me, at that moment, just triggered. And it was kind of like, I don't want to say I lost all sympathy for the person, but my brain started to process, this homeless individual and how they seem to be on something. After this is after the fact now, and I'm I don't feel right about making an assumption that they were on something. Maybe they just have a mental disability. But at the time, I felt that they were on something. And in my head, I kind of started processing, or started removing sympathy for the individual. I was kind of like, well, maybe they're homeless because they were on drugs, and who's to blame for them being on drugs? I mean, did somebody put a gun to their head and have them start doing whatever drugs they were doing? No, obviously not. Obviously, it was a conscious decision that they made themselves. And so at that point, I was kind of like justifying why I shouldn't feel anything for this individual. Because my normal self would have been, you know, I feel bad that they're homeless. I feel bad that they're, you know, um, I feel bad. I feel bad that they're homeless. I feel sorry for them because they're addicted to something, and they're, you know, they obviously are trapped by it, and that would be my normal way of processing the scene. But because they did me wrong by, you know, blocking my path when I had the right of way, suddenly I found myself making up reasons why I shouldn't feel sorry for them. and and thinking about that later, it was kind of like, you know, that was, maybe the person had a mental illness and didn't know any better. Maybe that's why he crossed. He saw green, so he crossed, thinking it was okay to cross. It was his turn to cross. And me being in my right mind was like, no, you're not supposed to cross, and so I'm going to take offense because you know, you're blocking my turn to go, kind of thing. Instead of being a good human being and saying, well, you know, maybe it's not going to kill me to wait another 5 seconds or another, you know, half a minute for him to cross. It's really not going to kill me to do that. So I'll let him go. I'll let him do his thing. I'm not going to get upset, and I'll just let him go about his business. But no, my brain immediately was like, he has wronged me, and now I should not feel sorry for him anymore. And that's kind of what I mean, you know. You have to be responsible for your own actions, and that gets back to the religion thing. You have to be responsible for your own actions. If you think you're going to be absolved of your sins, and you think you can get away with whatever you want, and then all of a sudden, you know, you'll be forgiven for it, that's not the way to be a good human being. That's the way to be actually a shitty human being, because you know you're going to be absolved of whatever you do, so you don't really care about what you do. All you care about is how people perceive you, not how you actually are. The perception of you becomes more important than who you actually are as a person. And I think there are religions that certainly propagate that, and I don't believe it's right. But unfortunately, that's the way the world is. I still don't realize what I still don't understand what I'm supposed to be doing here. I'm supposed to be talking with the Autophage guys. Where am I here? Here's my log. Learning more about the Autophage through direct interaction with them, as well as experimenting with the properties of Atlantium. Select Audience with the Autophage or Prayers of the Machine to continue. Oh, okay. Prayers of the Machine or Audience with the Autophage. Install a poly. I've already done that. Oh, select an empty inventory slot and begin installation. Yeah, I've already done that. Yeah, I didn't. I've done that. It's already installed. I did that. It's right there. Done. Enter an Autophage site. How? Oh. Ah, I see. There's a new way of activating. Okay. Oh, he's right there. I'm right beside one. Okay. Good to know. Anyway, so like I said, if religion makes you a better person, if your religion makes you a better person, then that's a good thing. If your religion makes you a worse person, then it's a bad thing. But I don't actually believe in my heart that it's the religion that does that. I believe that is the kind of person you are inside, and the religion unlocks that or supports that. That's my belief. If you are a good person and you follow a religion that basically prompts you to be a good person, then you are going to be a good person because of your religion, or your religion is going to lead you to do good things. It's not necessarily the religion that's making you the good person. It's finding the person that you are through the religion, whether it be good or bad. It's finding the person that you actually are. Oh, this is interesting, because there's nothing here. So if I run the scanner now, is it gonna, like, detect the whole... No. Oh, well, there's a... It made the people show up, but it didn't really make... It didn't make a base show up or anything like that. So that's kind of interesting. Hello. Just to read the disruptor. Show Atlantium, show harmonizer. Gesture politely. Should just show the harmonizer, I guess? Tapping it. They nod with approval. Okay. Friendship. Disruptor. It's possible we are a society of cooperation. Is work to be done. I think that says there is much work to be done. Contribution to be made. Repeat friendship, work, or contribution. Let's repeat friendship, I guess. It's amused by my clumsy pronunciation of their language, but appreciative of the effort. Regaining composure, they nod solemnly and present a briefing on a task I might assist with. Okay. Craft 4 solar meters. Excellent. I can do that. And I get some more autophage. Oh! You assemble... I suddenly remember that you assemble a staff by finishing this. So he's going to give you a grip for the staff. Ah, I just remembered that. Okay, let's craft a solar mirror. I don't think I can do so out of the inventory. I need my ship. So, and I left my ship. I left my ship over there. Let's bring the ship in. We'll craft ourselves 4 solar mirrors, because I don't think we have solar mirrors, so we'll have to craft them. I think I might have one or two. But they're pretty easy to craft, so I'm not really worried about it. Do I actually have any? Oh yeah. Oh, I have 5. Shit, I could just grab them. Okay. I shall bring you your solar mirrors. Here you are, friend. Enjoy. So I learned the fiberglass script. Nice. And I learned some autophage words. Okay. Ask him about the grip. Oh. Insufficient standing. I can provide him with a radiant shard. I can give him a gift of a radiant shard. I'm pretty sure I have that on board. Whoop. I Alrighty, I have a lot of radiant shards on board. Okay, let's grab all the radiant shards we have. Well, we'll grab a stack. Okay, just so we can present them with gifts. Because I like these people, I want to be friends with them. I feel like they are... I feel like they are being unfairly treated, shall we say. I feel like they should be able to come out of hiding. Here you are. There you go. Okay, so now I need to talk to you. Alfred seemed genuinely pleased to speak with me. You enunciate the word slowly and clearly, hoping to convey as much meaning as our language barrier will allow. I wish to make friendship. The blueprint will da-da-da-da-da-da. Ask about the fiberglass script. The blueprint is an invitation, a something pre-built entity, I think, or a disruptor. Holy technology. Many autophage to build and constructed. I'm pretty sure he's talking about building a staff. No schematic. I have been gifted since to form a part of an important multi-tool, a holy multi-tool. Okay. Is an invitation, a rare gift. A pre-built... Once a pre-built entity... You are a disruptor. Okay. Is staff an important, a holy technology, many autophage. Build a staff of their own, staff constructed, and pre-built multi-tool. Okay. Autophage are not like Korvax. There are many, and do not converge to one. Speak of something. To accept my invitation, travel. Okay. Gather that the grip blueprint is an uncommon gift to an outsider, a significant gesture at the beginning of acceptance. Okay, encourages me to travel and meet more of the autophage. Perhaps a complete fiberglass grip built by my own hands will make a positive impression on the next camp I visit. Okay. Can I give you a greetings? Okay. Can I present you a gift? 19 Atlantium. Oh, it's Atlantium. It's just Atlantium. Okay. There you go. Have some Atlantium. I thought it was talking about the radiant shards. I was like, what the? How are you? I haven't spoke to you yet. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have a spool of nano cables to give you. You're visited. I have not spoken to you yet. Okay, let's assemble this the grip. So I need 3 carbon nanotubes and a glass. Okay. Let's hop on board here and get some 3 carbon nanotubes and a glass. We'll grab the glass. Okay, and 3 carbon nanotubes, which I don't think I have in inventory, so I'll have to make. That's fine. We have plenty of carbon. There. Some nanotubes up. And then we'll make the staff. There we go. And we'll put this back. And now we have the staff. Let's see if some of the other guys will talk to us now that we have the staff. See if they'll give us a better conversation here. Does it seem alien to them? No. Doesn't get. Oh. Because maybe I do have to find another camp. Let's do the waypoint here. And we're at 2.5 hours on this video, so I'm probably going to call it here, and we'll continue this next video. Minor settlement detected. Okay. Wait, a settlement? I don't want a settlement. Or do I want a settlement? I don't know. Alien installation and landing pad detected. Is that where I want to go? Let's save. Let's save here, and then we'll continue from here next episode. So we constructed the fiberglass grip, which for some reason isn't checked off. I don't know why it's not checked off. It's right there. We did construct the fiberglass grip. It's right here. In my exosuit. Fiberglass grip. Ah, there we go. I just had to move it for some reason. Now what? It's not checked! What's going on here? Search for computing units and reserve their responses. Meet more autophage. Oh, in another system. Oh. I have to meet with more autophage in another system, so I cannot do it in this system. Well, shit. Okay. Let's, I was gonna end it right here, but let's go park on board our freighter. Not exactly sure where to park the... Oh, I see the dots. I see the dots. So we'll come in this way and we'll just kind of... There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, no, beam. Okay. We'll head up to the bridge, and we'll give her a save. That is not the right door. This is the right door. Give her a save. Alright. So that will be it for this episode. Next episode, we'll start out by warping to meet more autophage, and we'll continue the autophage quest from there. I'm not exactly sure how we activated this. I don't know whether it was visiting the village or getting our ship or jumping around or warping to different dissident systems. I have no idea. No idea how we actually triggered it, but we're into it, so that's good. I will probably finish the autophage missions for those who are itching at me to get back to Palworld. I'm probably going to finish the autophage missions, move on to the next system, and then we'll get back to Palworld, because that will finish off this series, the open series, I should say, the scheduled series, and then we'll move into the playing more, but it'll be more casual. It'll be here and there. It won't be scheduled, such as we've scheduled it now, where I'm constantly doing episodes alongside another, alongside Palworld. That was kind of a mistake I made. Doing two series at the same time. I thought it was actually going to be a good thing, and it turned into a not so good thing. Because I would gather viewers who were interested in No Man's Sky, and then suddenly I would cut to Palworld and be doing, 2-3 weeks of Palworld. And then I would gather viewers for Palworld, and I would shift back to No Man's Sky. And I was watching the viewer counts, and when I did that, the viewer counts would shift. So I would get people interested in No Man's Sky, and then all of a sudden I'd be like, okay, I'm putting No Man's Sky on pause, and I'm going to Palworld. And then I would lose viewers. And then I would slowly gain viewers for Palworld. And then when I switched back to No Man's Sky, I would lose viewers. And then when I would do No Man's Sky again, I would gain viewers, and then I'd switch back to Palworld again, and I'd lose viewers. Because people were not interested in going from one series to the other. They wanted to see that series. They wanted to watch that series. They wanted to see me playing through the one game, not switching back and forth. So that was a mistake that I made, and I'm going to finish this series before I get back to Palworld, and then we'll finish the Palworld series because we're close there. Um, Probably as close as we were when I started talking about finishing the series, which is another 10, 15 episodes in. But we're close on finishing the Power World series. Once this series is done, once the Power World series is done, I'm going to move on just all by itself the series for Satisfactory. I don't know how long that series is going to run. There is a progression through Satisfactory. You have goals, and you have to meet those goals. You have to send things off into space, for example. You have to unlock technologies. You have to complete the space elevator construction, which itself is rather arduous and lengthy process. Um, and there are apparently some lore. There's some lore that goes along with it that we're gonna find as we play. So that'll be interesting as well. But anyways, that's going to be after these two series are done. I'm going to finish No Man's Sky series. I'm going to finish the Power World series. Power World we probably won't return to once it's done because there's not really anything to do once it's done. No Man's Sky series, there's still some things that we can do once it's done. Like once we go to the next galaxy, we can move towards a lush galaxy. We can keep processing through galaxies. We can find more. We could finish off more of the stories. These things we have a whole bunch of side quests here that we haven't done. We could get in with the rebels. That kind of stuff. We could turn and go down that storyline. There's quite a lengthy rebel storyline that we haven't touched. We have more base stuff to do that we haven't touched. So it's more than just traveling. There's more here that we can do. And then of course there's missions in the Nexus. There's in the future we're going to still have more expeditions to do. So No Man's Sky is not going to stop. It's going to keep on going because the universe keeps on going with No Man's Sky. Power World is going to come to a stop because Power World is basically once you've played it to completion, once you beat the final boss, there's not really anything more to do. You can go out and capture more things, of course. You can always capture more things and build your base bigger and all that. But it really, once you hit that end where you've beat the last fight, there's really nothing left after that. So that kind of brings the game to a closure. But you know, we'll see that through to conclusion. We'll see No Man's Sky through to when we travel to the next system. When we travel into the next star system, that's probably where I'm going to cut it off and go casual at that point. We will have finished the autophage line by that. I'm gonna push the autophage stuff right now. We'll finish the autophage stuff, and then that's when we'll move on to the new system. So I'm gonna keep going with No Man's Sky to finish this. Then we'll switch back to Power World, and we'll finish off Power World, and then we'll move on to Satisfactory after that. And Satisfactory is going to be a lot of fun, I feel. So stick around for that. Hopefully you stick with me through all of this. And I do apologize for jumping back and forth in the series here. I thought it was going to just keep me entertained so that I didn't kind of fade off and stop playing the series. But that's not happening. What I'm actually doing is getting more involved, and I want to play this game more. When I'm playing this game, I don't want to stop and switch to Power World. I don't want to. When I'm playing Power World, I don't want to stop Power World and come back to No Man's Sky. I've been having that experience of getting into the game, and it's like I don't want to jump to the other game. I'm not getting bored of the game as I would if I was just playing single player and not doing an actual video on it. So, with that said, I'm going to bring this episode to a close, and I will see you guys next time. So take care. This is Jodian signing off. Bye-bye.